Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial on ISTQB Advance Test Manager certification. We are in chapter 1 talking about the testing process, and as a part of this chapter continuing with the next topic, that is 1.6, the test execution. So far we have understood a lot about what is planning, analysis, design and implementation. Now exactly the main phase comes into picture where all your execution takes place. And as a part of the execution, the very first and foremost thing what you should be taking care of is to make sure that you have designed all your test cases much before the execution can actually takes place. And before, generally you need to make sure that exactly what kind of test cases you were supposed to write, so that you don't really leave some space during the execution to make sure that you have some time to write ongoing test cases, because as the project unfolds, as the testing continues, you generally realize that there are a lot of things which need to be tested, of course. For example, the defect, the risk which you have identified, you definitely have planned for it. But what about the risk which is unidentified and can really happen during the execution phases? So you definitely have some buffer time and tolerance within your execution phase to accommodate those unexpected test cases to be written during the execution phase. So you generally try to finish as much as possible earlier than execution to write your test cases as planned. Plus, of course, the test execution will only begin because you can have internal entry criteria to determine that have you finished what you were supposed to finish before you can get into the execution, and can definitely have an entry criteria for that as well. And once it is satisfied, you can definitely step into your execution process. On the other side, of course, the tool and the environment must be well established and validated, evaluated before you can enter into the execution phase. And a lot of other tools which are basically to track the progress and manage your defects, because during the execution you definitely welcome a lot of defects. So everything must be well equipped and well placed within the environment in order to make use of it. So these are a lot of things. So test results tracking is another important thing, because ongoing monitoring of any activities will be taken care of with these kind of tracking process. And any kind of deviation, if observed, the test manager has to take the necessary control actions to overcome those deviation. Now this deviation can have examples like talking about a blocker or not non-availability of any kind of test data, or any such thing which might be interrupting your execution has to be taken care and necessarily attended with a control action. Even if you talk about the logging of the outcomes of the testing should be well captured, because you must have a tool like test management tool which generally allows you to simultaneously capture the actual results as well based on the execution, and a lot many other factors related to the execution. For example, the screenshots, probably capturing a screenshot of the defect, or maybe exceptions which you see other than the test case being executed. Because at any point of time, a test case can have a particular objective, but maybe your test case has passed but had certain exception. So what about that? So those things must be well captured, and you should have the process and the tool available to do that job. And of course, we have created a test execution schedule as a part of the test implementation phase. And we just wanted to make sure that everything is executed as per the test execution schedule. But at any point of time, if test manager realizes that there is something specific which must be accommodated in between, then reprioritization could be done as a part of the control action, depending on any kind of source stoppers or any kind of blockers which you may experience as a part of your process at any point of time. Further to add, of course, when following a test strategy that is the least in part reactive, sometimes should be reserved for the test sessions using experience-based and defect-based techniques. That means you do have a lot of test cases being designed or derived with help of the formal techniques like equivalence partition, boundary value analysis, or design decision table testing, state transition testing, and there are a lot of things which you generally make use of. So you just need to make sure that whatever you're trying to do, it must be following the strategy which you're making sure. And as a part of the strategy, if in case you have experience-based techniques, some place for that, then make sure that you have enough time to run those sessions and find some different defects as well. And failures, of course, the defects has to be captured, so you must definitely predetermine what template, what level of detail you must be making use of when you come to the execution process, and capturing those information with all information what you really want to capture in order to enable another stakeholder to understand that should be very well captured. The main role of test manager during the test execution is to monitor the progress according to the test plan, and if required, initiate and carry out any control action to guide testing toward a successful conclusion in terms of mission, objectives, and strategy. To do so, the test manager can use traceability from the test result back to the test condition, the test basis, and ultimately the test objective itself, and also from the test objectives forward to the test result at any point of time. Well, this is what a lot of information which you need to be aware of being a test manager, and must know the process in and out, from the consideration that how exactly execution must be carried out for the test cases which are being created. And it's really, really important for a test manager to be very actively participating at this point of time, because if anything gets deviated, of course, a test manager should be responsible for assisting the team and supporting the team with the necessary control actions. Well, that's all from this particular episode, team. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.